All right, we back. Mercy Sports Talk in the building. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. But Detroit Lions fall to the Indianapolis Colts at home, 41-21. Let's talk about it. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, please. And Phillip Rivers threw a block party. He had 23 for 33, 262 yards, 3 TDs, and really it was Jordan Wilkins who really killed it for the Colts today. He scored a touchdown, a 2-point conversion. On 20 attempts, he had 89 yards at 4.5 carries attempt. Nyheim Hines, I think, got into the end zone twice for them, 2 catching TDs, and it was just a great performance on both sides by Indianapolis. They defense stopped the run. They were stout, did a good job defensively in the back end, and overall, the Indianapolis Colts was just the better team today, and we knew that coming in. We knew that their strengths was on both lines of scrimmage. The defensive line was very stout today and stingy, and the offensive line, pretty much did the job when Jordan Wilkins was running the ball, and they protected Phillip Rivers. They stopped the run. They were stout on defense and in all phases and special teams as well. And instead of that block punt that they had, and overall, man, it's just really, they was a superior football team. They built their football team the right way. They dominate both lines of scrimmage, and that's how you win. And, today Jonathan Taylor didn't have a hot hand, but Jordan Wilkins did, and Nyheim Hines had the hot hand coming out the backfield, and Rivers was only sacked 2 times for 15 yards. He had 123.5 quarterback rating. Stafford was sacked 5 times for 39 yards and loss, and he had a 96.9 quarterback rating. He threw 2 TDs. He threw that interception that really turned the game in their favor. And rushing-wise, Lions was terrible today. Only had 11 rushing attempts. Swift had 6 carries for 0.2 yards. Peterson had 5 carries for 7 yards, 1.4 yards a carry. Stafford he was the second leading rusher, 1 carry, 10 yards, obviously 10-yard average. Agnew had 1 carry, 11 yards for no yards, no touchdowns. And also, Marvin Hall was the big receiver today. Didn't get in the end zone. He had 4 catches, 113. Gallaudet left a game with an injury, hip injury. He had 4 targets, no catches. Amendola had 3 targets, 54 yards. 3 catches, 54 yards. He had 4 targets. And Hockenson had 10 targets today, 7 catches for 65 yards, no TDs. Marvin Jones led the team with 2 TDs, 39 yards, and 3 catches. Could have had a 3rd TD had they not, Stafford had more time to throw and throw on balance. But overall, man, you got to give credit to the Colts. The Colts was a really, really good football team. I think we knew that coming in. I think some people underrated them. I didn't. Anytime you got that offensive line and defensive line playing, and they had their best defensive player, Darius Leonard, playing, I knew that would be a tough out, but I really thought that the Lions turned the corner after the bye week and they mixed things up defensively. And, but today Phillip Rivers was able to identify what they did well and expose it. You know what I'm saying? Credit to them. I think that it's more of them winning the game than us losing it. They got better personnel. They got defensive stars, Xavier Rhodes, Darius Leonard, Kenny Moore had a pick 6. That's on the interception Stafford threw. So you got to give Indianapolis their credit. They're a really good football team. Phillip Rivers is solid. Like I said, he threw for 3 TDs today. This might have been his best outing this year. And he threw for 262, so they get a win on the road. Trey Burton also rushed for 2 TDs for them, so they just went TD crazy, bro. Man, they had 41 points, and it wasn't like Patricia defense, really melted down and gave them the 41 points. It was really much the pick 6 and them going down the field and executing in the red zone, which they hadn't done all season. And what better way to get the remedy to execute in the red zone than play the Detroit Lions? And, Stafford today, Taylor Decker ended up playing. I thought he was out, but he ended up playing and sticking it out. So credit to him, but they're just too strong up front for us. DeForest Buckner, Darius Leonard, Justin Houston. You can just keep going on and a number of talented guys they have on that defense. Kenny Moore looked pretty good, and it's more credit to them putting their foot up our butt than us kind of beating ourselves today. Lions extend their streak to 7 straight games of scoring the first points against their opponents this year, and they 3-4 right now. You know what I'm saying? So and 0-3 at home. They haven't won a game in almost 12 months, I believe it was, at home. So, other than that, today was pretty much Stafford didn't have much time. Everybody was saying how good the offensive line have been playing this year. And I told people, to be honest, they hadn't played anybody. They hadn't played nobody. And people was like, oh, what did you talk? I said, I told y'all. Pro Football is ranked in the number one rushing offensive line in the league. Do y'all still believe Pro Football Focus? They didn't. They couldn't run the ball on this team. This team is a really, really good defense, man, and they whooped us. Like DJ, whoop that trick, hustle and flow. So, like I said before, people say, oh, Stafford's age catching up with him. Stafford been the same guy since he got here. You know what I'm saying? He been doing this, choking in moments where it's time to rise up and win the game. He not great without a really good receiving score. Who really can't be great without receivers that can catch the ball. But right now, with Galladay out, I think it's time to sell for the Lions, get draft picks and tank. That's just my opinion. I don't visualize them trading. I don't visualize them trading Matthew Stafford, but I don't see that happening. But it's time to kind of mail it in. You thought you turned the corner versus Jacksonville. They wasn't a good football team at the point. You thought you turned the corner versus versus Atlanta. They really not a good football team. That's why they coach Dan Quinn got fired. And you didn't. And today, defensively, they did a better job versus the run. It sounds funny. But they just couldn't get their pressure on Phillip Rivers like they wanted to. And, just right now, Kuda is getting murdered, and Justin Coleman came back, and he was getting murdered out there. Zach Pascal caught a ball. He wouldn't even turn his head around. We've been dealing with that as an issue with the Lions for many, many years. DBs can't turn DBs don't know how to turn their head and play the ball. So, but today, you get disappointed. You find out you're not as good as your previous 2 weeks told you was. You're the same team that, lost to Chicago, lost to Green Bay, who getting beat right now. I think this game might be over with. You're not a good team. Now you stepped up, and some people say the Colts wasn't a good football team. Their record was deceiving. They came in here and smashed you by 20 points. They ran all over us for the most part. We gave them 6 on the pick. And, they couldn't stop Nyheim Hines coming out the backfield. And, Phillip Rivers only been sacked 2 times today. Our quarterback was sacked 5. That team was overall just straight up better than us. And it's time to fire Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn right now. There's no need to try to be competitive versus the next 4 games we playing in Washington, Houston, Minnesota, a few other games we need to play. We play that seems a bit winnable. Just tank. Right now, I can understand if they didn't tank, if they drafted a quarterback, Herbert or Tua. They didn't do that. So now we're in a position where we're going to end up 6-10, 5-10, 7-9, and then we won't be able to get a quarterback. Somebody was telling me on Twitter, oh, Stafford's just, his age is showing. His age showing. It's the same guy that always been here. Versus the upper echelon teams or the above 500 teams in the National Football League, he simply just can't get it done. And personnel-wise, your running back's not doing much. I thought this was the number one running offensive line. It's not working. If you can't beat the Colts, who are 1 and 2 on the road, they don't do good on the road. So, and Indianapolis put up 20 points in the second quarter and 21 points in the fourth quarter. The Lions defense had a shutout in the first and the third quarter. I really don't understand this team at this point. I understand it, but still kind of confusing. It's just simply, offense can't put up enough points. Offense can't run. This offense can't go point for point with a 41-point game, especially if they're giving 6 points to them. So, it's time to shut it down. It's time to be sellers. Had they won this game convincingly, I think most people would say they probably can't make the playoffs, but I can't see them beating Green Bay. I don't see them at this point beating Chicago again. I think it's a winnable game. And this is the deciding factor, which, Patricia should be gone, but, you just look at him, Kenny Galladay being injured with a hip, and he probably not going to be too eager to come back and play. Are they going to give him his money, and they're not going to give him his money? If you get rid of Galladay, Marvin Jones on his way out, Danny Amendola on his way out with only 1-year deals, where do you go? You look at the rest of the Lions schedule, and they got to play the Vikings, who they just beat the Green Bay Packers just now. They got to play the Washington football team. the Panthers, the Texans, the Bears, the Packers, the Titans, the Buccaneers. The Titans just lost the Bengals today, I believe. And the Vikings again. It's just time to really hang it up. It's time to let David Blough run the offense and just shut down Stafford at some point. But to this point, it's just that you was hoping that the Lions could turn that corner. You was hoping like, okay, now that Patricia and Utlin switched up the defense, well, offensively, when you can't run the ball offensively, it's gonna be hard to put points up and score and be successful in the red zone. This is what it boiled down to. If you want better red zone success, you have to be able to run the ball in the red zone. And the Lions right now can't run the ball in the red zone. They can't run the ball nowhere. And if I'm rebuilding this team, whoever coming in, eventually when Quinn Tricia is gone, first thing I want to do is establish a line of scrimmage. Offensive line, defensive line. Those are the first things that I want to do when I come here. But right now, this team ain't if they do trip into the playoffs, they're not good enough. Stafford don't got a good enough line around them. He don't have enough weapons and speed on defense, and then they waited till they get down in the game, somebody get injured to use Marvin Hall's speed, and it's easy to Marvin Hall. Marvin Hall should be starting, dude. He one of the few dudes that can play receiver and get down the field, but it is what it is. I thought the Lions would win this game. They lost. They dropped to 3-4. I think it's time to really activate tank mode, man. So let me know what you guys think. We lost 21-41, but I think, I don't know. They got an easy schedule coming up. They're going to be at that place where they're going to be 10, 11th in the draft, maybe 7 at the highest, and probably won't get a quarterback that they want. But, hey, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. All my social media links in the description. You want to make a donation, best way to donate is share the video. But Cash App is CJGood313. PayPal links in the description. Appreciate everybody that show love. PayPal, Cash App, and just sharing the videos. And don't forget, check out my other channel, Goodfellas Sports TV, right here on YouTube. One time for the one time. We go.